Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and to apply to come on the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, so today I have Victor Kostrob on the line, and he's CEO of Fine Designs. Victor, welcome to the show.
Hey, Adam. Thank you.
All right, Victor. So excited to have you on the show today. I know we've been in each other's network and working with each other now going on a couple months, and finally I could wrangle you to get you on the show. I know you're a busy guy, so we'll have some fun today, and I'm really excited to bring your story as an entrepreneur to our audience. So from the Ukraine to the United States, really an entrepreneur's journey. But we'll get this episode started, Victor, the way that we start them all, with our Mission Matters Minute. So, Victor, we at Mission Matters, we amplify stories for entrepreneurs, executives, and experts. So that's our mission. Victor, what mission matters to you?
Mission matters to me is to help others to unleash their potential. And I guess it all starts with my beginning. And what I realize is the most important thing in life, especially for a man, that is to find my calling. So it's based on that. You can call it pain, you could call it meaning in life, but based on that journey and what I discover in that journey, I realize this is why God brought me to this world, is to help others to unleash their potential.
It's awesome. And love bringing mission-based entrepreneurs and executives on the line to share, why they do what they do, like what excites them to go out there and marketplace and to really make a difference. So great to have you on the show. And I know we're going to be working with each other a whole lot more for the audience. I'm not going to spoiler this, and we're going to bring Victor back on the show, but I know he's working on a podcast and he's got some other writings coming out and some things. So lots more we're going to hear from Victor and on this show. But I'd like to maybe start this is to kind of start documenting your journey, a little bit of your background, because as you and I work together more, Victor, and my audience hears your voice more and more, it's going to be fun for them to get to know more about your ideas. But everybody has a beginning. Everybody has, where it all started. So for you, like, where did all this start? Where did your journey start?
I would say the journey started for me when I was probably like around 16 years old. And at that time, I was at the college. I was in college in Soviet Union. Back then, it was Soviet Union. It wasn't even divided to be separately Ukraine, because that happened later. Mm-hmm. So as I was raised in Soviet Union, there wasn't about to inspire people. It was about your responsibility as a human being, and there was always to emphasize responsibilities and what you have to. So I remember my first conversation with my father when he said, well, you have to get this degree, you have to go this direction. And I said, Father, I just don't feel like I want to go this way. And he said to me with his, whole seriousness, Victor, you have to remember in life, you're not going to do what you want to, but you will do what you have to. And then as I move forward, I go to college now to pursue that degree that my father wants me to get. And then, so I get motivation. All of a sudden I feel like, oh yeah, I want to study, because for the first time I get the scholarship. And back then, to get like 40 rubles, that was a lot, because the salary of my parents was about 120 rubles. And this is 40 rubles. So kind of like you have your own money. Yeah. I could afford, even I paid my sister to clean up my room on a daily basis.
Awesome.
Taking out of $40, taking $5, that was enough to hire my sister to do that. So you feel like, wow, life has changed. But then it goes for a year and a half, and all of a sudden I realize this will be my future.
Mm.
And it get to me again, like I would have to each day, I will not be waking up with excitement, like, wow,
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to do something I really enjoy. I have passion for it. No, it will be always, you have to do it in order to
Mm.
provide the food and shelter for your home, and etc. If you want to buy something, you will just have to work harder, and all of this motivation that other people have. And but remember, I was good in college because of the scholarship. You have to always keep up with a good grades. And then, soon as I hit this zone where I lose motivation, I feel lack of any passion to go and study now. And all of a sudden, my grade goes down. And the teacher of the chemistry, she come and say, Victor, for this semester, you're going to get this grade, and therefore you're going to lose scholarship.
Mm.
So to me, that was kind of like the news that somebody died in your family. So when she realized this is how I received that news, she said, I will give you a chance to go and to examine and study the whole year program. And then at the end of the 2 weeks, you will have a lot of different tests. So I was so afraid to lose the scholarship that I put all of my mind and heart into this subject of chemistry. I studied it so well, and then after 2 weeks, she gave me those tests, and then she opened the mouth and she says, you know what? You have so much talent. You have so much potential. What are you doing with your life? She said, in this college, there's nobody knows better the subject of chemistry just like you, except maybe for me, she said. What are you doing with your life? And then again, I said to her, as I said to my father, I just don't see that I will be waking up with a passion. I want to find something where I would come to work with passion. And she said, there is nothing like this in life. You have to realize life doesn't work this way. Life doesn't work this way, she said. And you have to accept that. The sooner you accept that, it will be better for you. So I get now I got my scholarship, but then I dealt with my own beliefs. And as I go and each day I wrestle whether this is truth, what people are saying. And remember, the whole society is following that direction. It's not like you have friends who actually think otherwise, who actually, there is a group of people who say, oh no, I just read the book and it says otherwise. No, everybody thinks that way. And one
so
day,
that's just kind of like, just to kind of make the difference here. So, you know, a lot, if we're thinking about back then, you know, maybe the way the society was thinking, like in the United States, so where we're like, you know, chase your passion, chase your dreams, things like that. It was kind of the opposite. It's like, no, that doesn't exist. Like you don't.
Exactly.
It's not even an option in like the mindset.
Exactly. It wasn't about you. It's nothing about you. It's about it's about what you do for society and for the government. It's all about to praise the government, and it's nothing. It's never about you. It's not. So that's why you realize the addiction at that time, especially even now. It was about like my father was alcoholic, and you look at the whole society and they all become alcoholics starting like at 30 years old, because there is no satisfaction in life. They're not they never thought of finding the meaning in life. So at first I was kind of like criticizing my father, thinking like, why would you not take care of your family? Why would you think just to satisfy your own needs? And then later, as I grew, I realized that's why my father was doing this, because once if you never discover that, if you never become true to yourself, that's why many people go and use drugs and alcohol, because deeply inside of them, they want to be satisfied. Deeply inside of them, they want to feel happy. And if you not pursue your dream, if you're not finding the answer, what is the meaning to my life, there is no way you will be happy. There is no way you will be satisfied. So just to finish that story, at that time when a teacher of the chemistry also told this big news, I wrestled with myself and I said, no, I don't believe that. And at that time, I'm making the decision that was the new direction for my life. I realized that later. If it wasn't for that decision back then, my life would be totally different. I would not have business here, and I would not be who I am today if it wasn't for that decision. I made a decision. I said to myself, I don't know what is my calling. I don't know what is the direction, but at least I know this. This is not the right direction. Even though everybody says this is the right direction and I have to follow, this is not. And I realized I have to have the guts not to follow everybody else, but to look for the answer. It was just the look for the answer, but it was a lot of faith in a creator. There must be something different, because if he is the creator and he thought of everybody and we're all different, he must have thought of me, I thought to myself. And I decided to drop that college. And even though everybody says I made the craziest decision, and
of course, that was like jumping off the ledge right there. That's just like
exactly.
Like a lot of entrepreneurs watch this and they're going to be able to relate. Like when I left my job, I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, I left corporate America. I had a really good position, really good job. I've been in the business almost 14 years in finance. And I say I'm going to go off and start a media company. And everybody's looking at me like, okay, he just went crazy. So people must have been looking at you like you went crazy, for real.
Yeah, because you're losing the security.
This is in the United States where I did it was in the United States. So, I mean, at least they'd heard of other people doing this. But if we think about the day that you did this and the society that you did this in, they must have thought you were like literally crazy.
Literally crazy. You're right.
Wow.
You're absolutely right. So
that is go ahead.
So that is the journey. So moving to the United States, first of all, that was my dream to come to the United States. I always dream, even though the media portrayed the United States like this terrible country, just like right now, Russian media portrayed the Ukraine and the rest of the world. But inside of me, I knew the country and the potential and the choices they given, I heard about. So that was my dream. And when I moved here, just all of a sudden I felt, wow, there is so much potential here. There is so many choices here. And first you have you follow your instincts to survive. And it's not like on the first day of moving here, I thought of, I will open the business, I'll do this. At first, you follow your instincts just to survive. And then as you survive and you have your refrigerator is full of all of the products, and now you buy the car, you have the apartment, what's next? The life will become boring. Then you have competition, you have envy because I have this, other people don't have this. No, it's not for me. So then I start thinking, truly, what is my calling? What I really want to do? And based on that, I believe if the person start asking those questions, and God Himself, He sees you are not satisfied like other people, because other people, they might say they want to reach their dream, they refuse to follow everybody else, but inside of them, they still prefer to have security. Above all, they still prefer to have security. But if you're willing to let go of that security and risk it all, just like what you did, and risk all, I believe God Himself is now interested in you, so that you can find that calling that you are supposed to be. And now you're like, all of a sudden you get into His blueprints, and he points out. So you think like it's all you, but then later you just realize, no, it's a lot bigger picture. So all of a sudden, I get the vision. The vision was, and now about 30 years later, the business has been around for 28 years now. And so 30 years later, I will tell you, it's up to the small details that I received in that vision that back then. So I was inspired by that vision. And as soon as I got the vision, I have my goal, and the rest is the.
So you've given a lot of advice here, but I want to circle back to, I want to spend a little bit more time on the business itself, so on building fine designs. So, and I know you've done some other things, but so it can be any of the businesses or any of the entrepreneurial things you did, but I don't want to glance over that, because first off, you come to the United States as a foreigner, like you know what I mean, like there's some challenges there, maybe culturally, language, other things like that. Like, tell us a little bit more about like what starting out was like, because I always find it inspirational personally, and I hope my audience does as well. But I'm always thinking about like when I look at maybe some of the things that I've done as an entrepreneur, and sometimes I get down on myself, and then I not to compare, this isn't a comparison and it's not like that, but when I think about like the fact that I was born here, maybe I had some other privileges from that, and then I look at sometimes, you know, immigrants that come over, start businesses, do other things, have all these challenges and succeed. I just find it inspiring. Like, so what was that like when you got started?
Oh, well,
it's hard, right? It's okay. I know I'm taking you back a bit. A bit, but I want to know it's not easy.
Yeah, it's a lot of emotions. It's a lot of emotions. When people look at me now, nobody could think this is would guess in their wildest dream that this is what I had to go through. So now you have this vision that we would like to do with my partner. We would like to sell event merchandise on site at the sporting events. So what is this about? So anytime like gymnastics, say any sport like gymnastics, they have state championships. So there is a design that supports that, and then somebody sell the event T-shirts, sweatshirts, that everything comes with this logo for this tournament. So that's what we want to do. So we have to present ourselves where the committee behind this, the host committee will hire us to sell the event merchandise, and then we would pay the commission from the gross sale. So we come right on site to the event. We provide a large variety of sportswear that everything comes with this official event logo. And plus, we offer a customized service which allows those competitors to add their names on the back, even the prints on the sleeve, like places what they achieving. So I was inspired by this idea. I thought, wow, this is the athletes will be so happy in their families that I assume, and I was expecting that soon as I present this idea to those directors, they're just gonna jump on it. They're just gonna say,
definitely.
I
Victor.
love that.
That sounds easy enough. I understand. You just said, "Oh, here you go. I showed up my merchandise. Everybody buy," and I'm sure they all bought, and it was simple, and everything was like, happy.
Because they don't have to pay for it. There is no obligation to them. All they have to is to give us the spot, and out of that we will pay them commission. So it took me 6 months before I got first signed an agreement for one very small event. So consider this today.
How much rejection in between? I want to stick there for a moment. So
rejection.
That's 6
it was
months
just like
of pain. That's 6 months of pain.
It's besides the pain, you start doubting yourself. Whether this vision that you believe that truly yours.
Was I meant to do this? Am I crazy for this? Was everybody right? You had to be like, am I crazy for leaving that other career and all the other things? And like, was everybody right? The voice comes in, right?
exactly. And in order to go on my own, I realized I have to have some savings. So I have some savings, but now 6 months you have to
burn.
Even though you work, I work 17 hours per, creating this business, making this startup, but I have no other ways to make money. So all you live off is the savings, and then you still have to invest in this new business adventure. So 4 months goes by. Obviously my savings wasn't that big. 4 months goes by, the savings is gone. So what do you do then? Then you have a thought, maybe I just do part-time this job, and then I'll do this on the time that is left. But then I answer to myself, no, if I truly believe, I have to go full-hearted. And so I go and I get a small loan from my friend, so it gives me a chance to go for another 2 months, and then again rejection. As a young person, my English wasn't that perfect, obviously, and I don't know this culture as well as other people. So when they tell me, "Oh yeah, this is great, we'll call you back," I thought, yeah, they will call me back, or yeah, this is great, but I didn't realize that this is the way people tell you no. That this is the way people tell you no, we're not interested. But this is a nice way to say no. But the way I interpret it, oh yeah, we're interested. So I've been waiting. And then when I called and I would ask them, is this a good time right now? 99% of the time they would say, no, this is not a good time. So 6 months later,
pain. I feel you right now. Go ahead, keep talking to me.
6 months later, I got to the one place. As back then there wasn't any cell phones, but I still disconnect myself from the rest of the world. I can disconnect from the land phone, and I thought, and then I brainstorming why I get the rejection, why people are not taking me seriously, why, as you propose in your mind, this is such a great deal for them, and nobody sees that way. Because and then I received the revelation that later helped me in my life. The revelation comes to my mind: put yourself in their shoes. And as I put myself in their shoes, and now I'm hearing myself as a salesperson, I confirm if I was them, I would also reject that. And the reason for that, even though I proposed for them, but all in my mind, I was actually selfish. I wasn't thinking for them. I was thinking for me. Like, are you crazy? Why would you not help me? Don't you see I'm trying to survive? It's like all of them. The voice was about me. I never thought how to think from their position. And now as I look at from their position, I realize, yeah, there is a lack of trust. How could they trust me when I called to New York, somebody who's hosting an event in New York, and I'm sitting in Seattle, and I have absolutely no data, no track record of who we are. People simply asking themselves, what about if this guy doesn't show up? Whether they promise this, but they would never fulfill their agreement, their commitment. So as I thought about them, and now my next presentation was completely different. It was from their point. So I was saying the right thing, and I would, instead of waiting for their questions, would they never ask, I would actually make initiative, and I say, of course, if I would be you, I would say to this guy, there is no way we could have you because you have no track record. But then I say, you know what? I want to give you my personal commitment, even if there will be a storm, even if this is the last money I have, and because my employee rejects to go to the event because of the headache, and I will I will pay the last money I have, and I will buy the most important, most expensive ticket, but I guarantee I will be there. So probably in their in their spirit, I'm sure they felt like this guy is for real. And then one day I'm making a follow up, and the lady said, we actually decided to go with you. As the 6 months on the road, you get used to receive rejection after rejection. So when I heard this, I was kind of like, what is she saying? I couldn't believe
Did
that.
she actually say yes?
It doesn't recognize in my mind. It doesn't register that. And then she said, hear this. And then she said, I want you to know why we decided to go with you. And I was just eager to find out why. And then she said, because you were very, very persistent. Back then, I'm sorry to say this, but I didn't even know the meaning of the word persistent. So what I thought was that's how good my English was. So I thought to myself, that's probably the same as she's saying you're very, very smart. That's what I thought. So soon as I hang up, I go to the dictionary. I open the dictionary and I get the meaning of the persistence, that you didn't stop. You kept calling, even though we were not considering you, but you still trying to convince me. That's the meaning. Wow, if that is the meaning, I can do this. If this is why I get this contract, I can do this. I could be very persistent. You never know. So instead of like asking people, is this a good time? I would never ask if this is a good time. If they tell me this is not a good time, I will just say, sir, it's going to take only a few minutes. And from that point, contracts start coming, and we start building the reputation. And based on that reputation spoke, because there is nobody else would do that service like we would do. To me, serving people is like the best chance I get. I'm honored to serve people. I'm honored to do the service. So when I go to the event and I have a chance to meet those athletes, future stars. Today they are nobody, but they're the future stars. I'm looking at and I see such a big job those directors do, because if it wasn't for them, all of those kids, they will be on the street. But they motivate them. They try to discipline. They try to give them the right tools. They try to inspire them, to give them the right values in life. So as I see that more and more, and I'm thinking, wow, I'm working in a harmony with this best people in the world, building the new generation in America. Wow, that is the meaning in my life, I said to myself. Even though I might go and I lose money on this event, but I start even from that point, I start inspiring my employees, my people, my team, saying, this is why you want to do this. We're not, besides the pay, but we are building something much bigger. We're building something much bigger. We invest in ourselves in the future. We're investing in ourselves. We're making the major impact. So as you open your eyes to that, it just another motivation, another energy, another source of energy, and I believe that's why we grew. We grew organically.
Tell me about the growth, because so you told us about the first event. Now, how many whatever metric, how many events over the years, or like what kind of? Because I know you do a lot of events. I've been through your material, your website, but I'm happy that you shared the first one. So where are you at now? How many events over the years, roughly?
Just to give you the idea, we do about 150 events per weekend. 150 events per weekend, where before it took me 6 months to get one event. Today we do 150 events per weekend. Of course, it would not be possible to do it myself. You have to have a huge team for that, and then you have to have a really good infrastructure system. So my vision back then was, I want to build a business with local offices in every major city, in every state. So as you start doing the events, for example, in Dallas, Texas, little by little. So at first you start with one event, and there is not enough budget to open the office there. But then as you build, like, say, now you have 2 events per weekend, now I can invest in the local, in building in the local leadership team. And that's how it started. It goes like that. You build one leadership team, you build another leadership team. And the reason I said the mission matters is to unleash people's potential. I wasn't living in luxury. I didn't have any support from my parents or any support from the investment or even a loan where you hire people with education, when you hire people with certain degrees that you give them the chance to be your managers. I had to raise those leaders. So the people that I hired, they started like a regular salespeople, but you train them, you give them yourself, you share your vision, and you actually see if they can share that vision with you. If you're built with a similar value system, and then you invest yourself. So people who, as you look at our leadership team now, all of them started in a similar way as I am. We have so much in common. Because they came with a similar background, and they never thought they have a potential to be this huge leader, to lead the company. Because now, like you take like I mentioned, Texas, that region by itself is like a huge company now. Because later in life, I would get the vision to delegate the authority to them. So it's kind of like they became their own entity, their own franchise. It's not franchise system we have; it's a licensing. But it's in other words, they became on their own because, and that's how we grew even much larger with the.
And one of the things that I like about just your journey, and I see this, and even in the model that you're mentioning. So what you did was, well, first off, you took a big risk. That's the first thing you did. And it was not guaranteed. Then you were extremely persistent. And then you created a model that would allow and that would provide opportunities for many other people and many other leaders. And you gave people people an opportunity to really, to grow and to cultivate themselves and to become leaders. And you gave a lot of yourself through the years in order to make that happen. And so now, through all of this work and effort and, the labor of your team, I mean, you've been blessed, of course. And now you're also, in turn, which is one of my favorite things, is you're also looking at ways to be a blessing. And so you're also going out there and doing, things that are over and above the day-to-day business, interactions of growing a business. And so I know for context, we are recording this in March of 2022, and I know that you're heading to Europe, and then you're also going to be doing some work in Poland as well. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yes. What we experience now, nobody could even see that in their wildest dream, that neighborhood country, Russia, would invade in Ukraine. It's just no words to describe. And now we see thousands, and now it will be millions of people as refugees, because most of the families, as I talk to my friends, I still have a lot of friends there. I have some of my cousins back there, and so they want to make sure that their families, their children are safe. So, like, for example, my friend from Western Ukraine, so he would take his family to Poland, so that just to make sure his wife and his kids are safe, and then he goes back himself just to defend his country and his freedom. So now we have like a lot of refugees, and obviously it was pre-planning, where people, even when you go on a short trip you think, okay, this is what I'm going to wear, this is what I'm going to take. They didn't have that time to prepare. So all they got with them, a lot of them, they just got the documents. And even I heard a lot of people actually don't have the documents. So countries like Poland, at first they demanded, at least show me the passport. No visas is necessary, but at least show me the passport. But then they start letting go a lot of people even without the passport, because they realize they're on their own. They literally on their own. So there is a lot of people in their families that are struggling. They need help with food and shelter. Obviously, there is many organizations step in. A lot of churches step in, local churches, a local organization, and international organization. So me and my wife and my partner and his wife, we decided to go and help the best way we can. It might be a little, but I have a strong desire in myself to help people any way I can. So that is the trip. What is this about?
And so we're definitely going to get this episode out, because it's a timely thing. Of course, people are in need. How do people get involved? Like, how do they help out?
So, like, for example, we are partnering with an organization which I know that the leader of that organization, that they are been helping kids in Ukraine for years. The name of organization, Agape, AGAPE, which Agape, that stays for unconditional love. So if people could go Agape UA, that stays for Ukraine. Agape, AGAPE, U like uncle, A like apple.com. And there is information to donate for Ukrainian relief. It has even that other ways that they can make a donation. And it screams out. There is so much need right now. It just for simple things like food and shelter, it's unbelievable. So if anybody hear me now, anything they could donate, even $10, but that would be significant help. Though it would be significant help. Anything we can, $10 would take care of probably one family, like maybe a small family, but that would take care of one family. It's just together. I love to see that, you look at the world, except like China and a few other countries, but everybody feel compassion. Everybody feel like, what can I do? On this darkness, you see the light, and that is a bright light, the compassion and love of people that they want to support Ukrainians who they never met and they don't know about, but they really relate to that story and to their suffering and to this terrible name, Putin, who is, in my opinion, worse than him. So it's great.
And I will put, and I'm on the website right now, agapeua.com, and I see there is a English translation for it too. So don't worry if you get there and and you're like, okay, I don't know how to read this.
Right.
I saw my little English translation button came up, and there's a big donate button on the right hand side. So we're going to put a rush on getting this episode out so that my audience can go check out that website and give if they feel it and get back to that effort. So Victor, I just want to say it has really been a pleasure having you on the show and just learning more about your background, your heart, how you're giving back as well, and just, you've been blessed and you're being a blessing. It's just one of those perfect fits for our show and also for the type of content that we like to put out to our team. So again, for the refugee relief side of things, we'll definitely be promoting agapeua.com. If somebody wants to learn a little bit more about fine design, what's the best way for them to do that?
I would also visit our website to start with, and social media as well. And if any questions or other hosts who would like us to see at their events, there is obviously a forms to fill in. And like I said, we're in every major country besides the fact that we're in the United States. We're also in Canada. We're also throughout the Europe. We're also in Australia and New Zealand. And it has local contact on the website as well as the headquarters which has the contact for myself as well. And I will be very happy even to talk to anybody, myself as well, and to give them more information.
Awesome. Fantastic. Well, again, we'll put all those links in the show notes so that people can just go check out your website as well. And to the audience, as always, if this is your first time with Mission Matters or visiting our platform, just to let you know, we're a community that's all about bringing on entrepreneurs and executives and experts and having them share their mission, their journey. Why do they do what they do? Like, what gets them excited and fired up in the morning to go out there into the world and make a difference? If that's the type of content that you're into, or if that sounds interesting and inspiring, then we definitely welcome you to hit that subscribe button, because we have many more mission-based individuals coming on the line, and we don't want you to miss a thing. And Victor, really, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. I wish you a safe trip, and thank you again for coming on.
Thank you, Adam.